Thank you all for coming. I'm Kurt Rosenberg. I'm the Executive Director of Witness to Innocence, which is the only organization in the country made up of exonerated ex-death row prisoners and their family members. The 20 men standing beside me and behind me spent a combined total of almost 150 years on death row for crimes they did not commit. There are among at least 130 people in the United States who woke up day after day in a cell the size of most people's bathrooms, waiting to be killed by their government, despite the fact that they were innocent. Some of them spent more than 2 decades on death row. These men here came to Austin from all over the country, from Virginia, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, and 10 other states. And they're here today along with their loved ones because the death penalty in Texas has become a human rights crisis that they believe cannot be ignored. And you know, when people talk about the death penalty in Texas, they use a lot of numbers, like 419 executions, close to 40% of the executions in the U.S. carried out here since the reinstatement of the death penalty, 10 executions scheduled in a 30-day period. But if you look at the individuals standing behind me, I think it's clear that the death penalty isn't about numbers as astronomical as they may be in this state. Death penalty is about our government killing human beings. It's about our government killing human beings who have names and families and hopes and dreams like all of us. And it's about a government and a criminal justice system that makes mistakes and sends innocent human beings to death row consistently and repeatedly. The fact is, it's become painfully obvious that the criminal justice system has failed to fulfill its highest duty, which is to protect innocent people from wrongful convictions and death sentences. The system really provides no reliable safeguards against this, and we've seen over and over again how errors are made in death penalty cases because of factors like poor legal representation, racial prejudice, prosecutorial misconduct, and the presentation of erroneous evidence. Michael Blair's exoneration last month put Texas ahead of nearly every state in the country in the number of death row exonerations, behind only Florida and Illinois. Now, reasonable people can disagree about the morality of executing someone who's guilty of committing murder. But the question is, would any reasonable person argue that it's acceptable to send an innocent person to death row and to their possible execution? I really don't think anyone in this room, or for that matter, anyone who works in this building, including the governor, would suggest such a thing. And today we're going to hear from a few people who can speak from direct experience about the nature of the justice system. 3 of them were sent to death row for crimes they did not commit. Another one acknowledged that he sent a man to death row and ultimately to Texas' execution chamber for a crime he may not have committed. And we believe that our elected officials are reasonable people. We believe that our legislators and district attorneys, they want to make decisions based on principles of fairness and justice. And we believe they would never condone sending an innocent person to death row. And today we're asking the members of the Texas legislature to do something that's reasonable, something that's really quite simple. We're asking them to establish a Texas Innocence Commission, as Senator Elliott and State Supreme Court Chief Justice Jefferson have called for, so that errors and defects in the criminal justice process in this state can be addressed and corrected. We're asking them to establish this commission to ensure that not one more person in this state is wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death. And we're asking them to suspend executions in Texas while the commission undertakes a thorough review of the system. Because in a so-called justice system run by humans, mistakes are going to be made. There always have been, there always will be.